Good afternoon, everyone. On this August 12th of 2021, I'm Mayor Diana Broderson, and welcome to our city. We're so delighted to have you joining us today. We have our very own fire chief here with us to talk about the Muscatine Fire Department in just a couple minutes, because I wanted to get to a couple of quick announcements. If you have an opportunity at 4 o'clock today to join in watching Channel 4 on our local cable TV channels, we are going to have a very unique experience. They have asked various cities around our region to come on their show. They call it Local 4 News over coffee. And they're talking to each one of the cities about how the pandemic really impacted them and what got them through. And we are very excited to be able to share our story. We have a couple of businesses with us. We have a couple of city departments. We have our city council at large, and myself will be talking and really giving some updates on where the city is and how we navigated and pivoted our way through where we are today. So very excited to have you join us at 4 o'clock today. Next, just a reminder, we do have Coffee with the Mayor coming up on Saturday at 9 a.m. at Weed Park. We're going to be at the Monsanto shelter. I actually had to look it up. Which one was that? It's the one that's located by the volleyball pits we're just kind of right catty corner, or not even catty corner, parallel with Colorado Street. So you'll pull in right behind the lagoon there, and we'll be there at 9 a.m. Next, vaccination update. Please remember, go to any of the pharmacists that you want. Most of them you have a walk-in basis, and our local public health on Wednesdays and Fridays is offering a walk-in clinic. We're not where they would wish us to be yet. So as of yesterday, we're at 58% of eligible adults have gotten fully vaccinated in Muscatine County. 21% are waiting and still need either their first or their second dose, and 21% are under the age of 12. So we've still got some work to do. So please reach out, and you can call Senior Resources 263-9272 if you are at home and don't have transportation. They'll even bring it to you. So they're doing everything that they can to make this be as accessible as possible. Well, we are so fortunate today that we were able to get our fire chief here with us. He has an extremely busy schedule, as you can imagine, and he is joining us. Please help me welcome Jerry Ewers. Hi, Chief. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. How are you doing, Mayor?
I'm doing good. Hey, we've seen over the last couple of days some big announcements coming out of your department. Mike Collins, firefighter Mike Collins, got the life-saving award. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this was a pretty neat event here. Back in April, we had a structure fire on Sycamore Street, and with everything that was going on, Mike was in the structure and was able to find the victim and rescue her and get her out of the structure. So definitely made a huge impact on this resident. And so again, for us, it's all about recognizing and praising our employees when they do something good, or something above and beyond what a normal person would do. And this definitely hit the criteria in our awards program. So it was nice to be able to invite his family in. And some people probably don't know it, but Mike's dad, Mike Collins, was on the fire department and retired, and so he was also able to come in. So again, we were able to present this award and recognize him at the fire station in front of all of his peers and all of his family. So it was a pretty good day yesterday.
I'm sure his dad must be so proud. I just can't even imagine the feeling as a parent to know that your child has, even though he's not a child anymore, has saved the life of someone else. Oh my goodness, to be in that position.
Yeah.
But also putting your own life on the line. You guys do that on a regular basis. Put your own life on the line to save others.
Yeah, they do that every day. You try not to think about it. And in our line of work, you just have to be mentally prepared because you never know what's going to occur. You're here at work a third of your life, you know, living, eating, sleeping with the other firefighters next to you. And kind of the unknown about the job is that you just never know what's going to happen when that alarm goes off. You don't know if it's a medical call. You don't know if it's a train accident. You don't know if it's a hazmat call. You don't know if it's a structure fire. You don't know if it's someone in cardiac arrest. So again, it's different every day. They do go into some dangerous situations, and again, our officers, our incident commanders, do everything that they can to keep them safe. But we still have to respond, and we still have to remedy the situation. So again, it is a dangerous job. It's also a fun job and a rewarding job. And kind of what put a twist to it, as we were talking earlier, you're talking about the vaccine rates. Oh my God, you know, just this last, you know, year and a half of dealing with COVID, these guys were here every day, you know, suiting up and protecting themselves, but going out and transporting and treating these critically sick people on ventilators, and, you know, going from hospital to hospital, taking them from their home to their emergency rooms. And we're right in the middle of it, and we still are today. So again, it's not, you think a firefighter or you think a paramedic, but you know, we're pretty versatile, where we do a little bit of everything. I mean, we run an ambulance service, we run a fire department, we handle special ops with hazmat and boat rescue and confined space and rope rescue. So we're kind of a jack of all trades. When they don't know who to send, they send the fire department. But again, it's a very rewarding profession.
You know, and I just can't imagine what it's like to always be at the ready and alert. And like you say, never knowing, you know, it could be something that's relatively easy to solve, but it also could be a life-saving event that, or, you know, or many lives. You know, often I'm sure you're not just talking about one life when you guys get called out. It could be have an impact to even, you know, when you're talking about, you know, hazard mitigation, it could be the entire city that could be at risk.
Yeah.
And yeah. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I saw that he had up on the screen a second ago, kind of the functions of the fire department. And again, I think there was probably, you know, 6 or 12 bulleted list items on there. But in reality, what kind of, in our language or our terms in our line of work, they kind of call it kind of an all hazards approach, is basically we respond to all hazards. So we are trained to handle all these items. And you're mentioning just a second ago about you never know what you're going to go to. I remember the other day, a busy day, alarm after alarm after alarm, crews going out, you know, not eating and not drinking and just handling call after call. And I went home that night, and I told my wife, I was like, oh man, these guys are busy today. And then that was the same night where they had car accident on the bypass, one on fire, one flipped upside down. Then at the same time, they had to break Cruz away because they had another vehicle accident on Lucas. And then they had another medical at the same time. And it was just, I mean, people were just going all over the place. And again, it's not like that every day or every minute, but you just never know what you're going to have. And again, we have, I would say, the best bunch of men and women that are talented, that are professional, that give it, you know, 110% every day that they're here at work, and they help each other out. But again, we have a great staff, and I would say for our paramedics and our critical care paramedics, providing transports for people at our local hospital that need to go to either Iowa City or the Quad Cities for advanced care or specialized treatment or whatever. We do have, I would say, the best ambulance service in the state of Iowa. So I mean, they're just amazing.
I would agree, you know, and I think anybody who knows your team would agree. You know, for the ambulance thing, I will never forget the night our 10-year-old granddaughter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and we were at the emergency room in Muscatine, and they said, you know, she had to go to the university, and they called an ambulance, and of course we are all freaking out, and here come these two guys in an ambulance, and they backed right in, and they were just right there. You know, it was at the new wing where you can be inside. And they opened up the doors and they had a teddy bear for our granddaughter, and they spoke in such a calming way to our daughter that it really did make a difference on the impact of the situation that night. I cannot even say that enough. It really did. Just seeing them smile and be like, we got this.
Yeah.
And it really does make it. Yeah, I mean, you can't make some of the situations go away, but you can, make the impact of them be lessened. And I mean, they are just a wonderful team. And I was going to add, when you guys aren't having a day like that, it's not like you're laying around, because I know you're out on boards and commissions and meeting with, nursing home people and hospitals and emergency crews and doing prevention stuff.
Mhm.
Here at the Y, I know you guys have came tons and tons of times to try to help our families, learn safety things. October is going to be, as always been, unless they've changed it recently, Fire Prevention Month. And you guys do a great job of getting around to the community and even helping people with smoke alarms. I've seen you guys do that. Now it might not be something that you do all the time, but I know that's something that's on your radar. When you guys have a 3-minute, you do what you can.
Yeah, but like you're saying, I mean, we are here. We are a paid professional department. We're here 24/7. We're here 365, and so we're here. So when someone calls 911 and there's an emergency and they need our help, that we're here. We have our equipment here. We can get out the door fast, so we can take care of their situation right away. So that's our main priority of being a paid fire department, is that we can get to the patient side, or we can get to that structure fire or that emergency as quickly as possible, because we know time is of the essence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we're not on an emergency scene, there's a million other things that we're doing. We have required training and certification that we have to do for, our paramedic and our EMT certificates and licenses. There's firefighting and special operations training that's required that we have to do every year. Training that's ties into the ISO, which helps us have a good rating for the community for better insurance premiums for our homeowners and for our businesses. And then we also have all the non-essential programs. And again, our emergency responses will trump all of our other things. But when we're not on an emergency response, we do prevention and education, like you mentioned. I mean, we're in the school systems teaching them fire safety. I mean, we want to hit the kids at an early age. We bring the kids into the fire station. We give them a tour, and they get a Freddy the fire truck, show. But it's all about trying to teach them the critical principle ideas of fire safety at an early age. We do the prevention activities of trying to prevent fires in the first place in businesses, and so that's why we're going out and doing fire inspections. And we're trying to catch those violations and code issues up front before they create a fire or a hazard, so those businesses can stay open. I'll tell you, the statistics will show, even for businesses that have insurance, if they suffer a loss, 43% of them either never reopen or they reopen and close. So for us, that's a huge statistic where we want to make sure that that local business stays open. Because what would happen is, if they would suffer a loss, normally their customers will go somewhere else. Say it's a restaurant, they'll go somewhere else. If it's a dry cleaner, they'll go somewhere else, and they don't get their customer base back. So our goal in the prevention side, and again, it's not punitive. It's more of, hey, this is a violation or this is an issue. We want you to correct it. So number one, you don't have a fire, so your business can stay open. So it's all about preventing that stuff in the first place. But again, community outreach between the day staff like myself, and other folks on the department. We're constantly, doing presentations or going to groups and associations and trying to help out along with all the staff on the organization. So again, it's not just what are the firefighters doing when they're not on an emergency call. There is not enough time in the day for everything that needs to be done. But emergency responses trump everything else. And then it's our mandatory training. And then we get into our programs and non-essential programs and stuff like that, kind of hierarchy of where we spend our time on. But yeah, there's never enough time in a 24-hour day.
No. You guys got me once for a drop cord, and I learned that drop cords are a big no-no.
Yep.
You can have surge protectors, power strips, but not drop cords.
Yep. The surge protectors are good because if you would have a surge, it would flip it and trip the breaker and stop the issue. But where we see a lot of the times, and again, you can search it on the internet or YouTube. You can find anything on YouTube. But you know, where you have so many fires with those like cheap little 99, what I call 99-cent drop cords that people are using, and then they put a rug over it or they put furniture over it to hide it. What happens is when either you step on it or walk over it or push something over it, what will happen is that either your foot or whatever the heavy object is, it starts to break down the thin little wires that's in the code, and then what will happen is that you'll get the resistance heating, and then it will spark or arc or it will catch on fire because of that. So again, heavy duty drop cords are better, but with the way that the fire code is written, it's for temporary use. So it's designed for, hey, I gotta use it. I gotta use a drill and I have to plug it in, and it's a power tool, and I'm using it for a short time. When I'm done, I'm unplugging it and taking it with me. It's not meant to, I'm going to put a refrigerator here, and then all of a sudden I'm going to put a 99-cent drop cord so it can reach an outlet. That's not what the extension cords are meant for. But that is actually one of the common violations that we see.
Yeah, right in my office. And yeah, you can have that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we see that too. I see that on the screen. We see that.
That's for sure. So now
that would be a violation.
Yep. Yep. You learn a lot of stuff, you know, that, as like you say, that prevention is key.
Yeah.
So you've got October is coming up. You're having your open house day coming up soon.
Yep, we had to postpone it and then suspend it last year due to COVID. It just wouldn't have been safe, and it wouldn't have been right for us to have all the people in. And you know, we hated doing it because we have such a great turnout, and I know our citizens look forward to that. But we are back on this year, and again, we over the years we've changed it. It's not a fire department; it's actually a public safety building open house. So it's not just the fire department; it's also the police department. It's Mustcom, so that's our 911 center, and it's also open to the county sheriff's department. So it's not just a fire department open house. We're all there at the public safety building, inside in the alley, out in the parking lot. But yeah, we're scheduled for that on October 3rd.
October 3rd.
So there'll be more postings of that as we get closer. But we're looking forward to doing that, and we know the kids love it, and we have a huge turnout. So
oh yeah,
we're gonna have that this year. So yep.
I think there'll probably be a flyer coming out on that soon, I imagine.
Yes, a flyer and a posting.
Yep. I know. We when we have been there in the past, there's all kinds of stuff going on. You can just keep going all the way around. The kids have fun, and the adults are there too. It's not just a kid day.
Yeah.
Yep. I really think that was a great idea. What have you been doing it? How many years have you been doing it in collaboration with the whole public safety?
I would say probably 4 years.
That's what I was thinking. 4 or 5. Yeah.
Maybe even longer. Again, I tend to lose track of time. What I think's been 1 or 2, maybe because I'm getting older, that ends up being more. But yeah, we've done it. We've done the open house and the joint open house for a long time.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what the title or the name is.
No.
It's opening up the station to the community and the citizens. So I mean, that's, and trying to give back and trying to let them see what we do. And you know, we're human beings. I mean, you know, they can come and interact with us and spend a couple hours with us, and if we can, you know, teach them some safety stuff, then that's great. I mean, same thing with the police department and sheriff's department. They show them, you know, what they do and how they try to interact and intermingle with our citizens on a positive note. That's what it's all about.
Oh yeah. You know, and I think it really does represent also for the public that you guys all do work together. It's not just the fire department, just the police, just the sheriff, but you guys are a larger team working together for the good of the community at all times.
That's true. Yep.
And wearing a different hat, now that I mentioned that, it made me think of Salvation Army and the Red Kettle campaign. The three of you and Chief Talkington and Quinn last year have been the captains of the Red Kettle campaign. And just another way for the three departments to give back to the community. It's amazing.
Yeah, that was actually fun, but it was also very competitive. So.
Oh, I know it was. And even before, when CJ was there, he was involved as well. So it's a great opportunity for the community to really witness the partnerships that we have and how valuable that they really are. So it sounds like we're getting a new fire truck.
That is the plan. We've been working on it. We've been working on the specs probably for over a year now. We talked about it during budget time. City Council approved it. And so we finished up the specs and put it out to bid. And we received one bid that met the specifications. And so the memo was actually turned in today to City Hall. And it'll be on the council agenda for next week for City Council to approve us entering into a contract with Reliant and purchasing a new fire engine. That's going to be replacing one that we bought when I started, so 33 years ago. So
yeah.
So this new engine is going to replace a 1988 engine. So, and the good news is that it's under budget. So that's, I know people like to hear that. So we're excited. And once we sign the contract and place the order, it will take a little over a year to build and for us to take possession of. So about 12 to 13 months or 13 to 14 months is kind of what they have us in the schedule for. So a little over a year.
And it's not, like you say, it's not anything overnight, because we've been talking about this for years. It's been on the wish list.
Yeah.
The long range plan for quite a while. So you really planned ahead on this a long time.
Yeah, I think we do a really good job on our fleet replacement. I mean, our fleet replacement schedule is planned out 25 to 30 years out, even though that our city budget that we have to submit, we submit an annual budget, but for capital purchases, we're really submitting a 5-year projection. But internally at the fire department, just because of our apparatus and the years that we keep them, we have to plan out 30 years in advance. And especially ours are larger ticket items.
Oh, yeah.
We had $660,000 budgeted for an engine. So it's not like, a $30,000,
car. Yeah.
So it's a different amount, and we have to do our due diligence. But most places, they don't keep vehicles in service for 30 plus years, especially emergency vehicles. So our whole fleet is planned out, like I said, 30, 35 years. We know when we're going to be asking for it, and not that we pitch it or sell it, but we're letting the city administrator, we're letting the finance director, we're letting city council and the mayor know this when we have our annual budget discussions. It's not just like, oh yeah, I think this would be a good year to get a new fire engine. No, we've had this year scheduled many years out. So this is planned way in advance. But yeah, it's going to be nice, and it's going to be red.
That's nice. People have asked me before, how come our fire engine isn't red? I don't think people like that.
Yeah.
They want it red.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a wonderful purchase and a safety tool for our entire community. Yeah. And I think it's also important to note that while you and your team and our equipment is just for the city of Muscatine, you really do go out as a helper, if you're able, to other outlying communities, because sometimes events are really large, unfortunately.
Yes, that's correct. We have 2 different types of agreements in simple terms, or at least the government terms, what they use for agreements. We have 2080 agreements that are either an auto aid or a mutual aid. We have auto aid with Fruitland Fire Department. So Fruitland Fire Department or the city of Fruitland or their territory, we have auto aid with them. So when a 911 call comes into Muscom or our 911 center and they have a structure fire, we both get dispatched at the exact same time.
Oh,
That's what they call auto aid, and they do the same thing for us. So for all of our structure fires in the city limits, they get dispatched to our structure fire at the same time, just like we do for theirs. And there's mutual benefit for that. For everybody else in the county, we have regular mutual aid, which if they need us or they request us, and plus they have all the other volunteer services around there, that they can request us and we will go and assist them too, and vice versa. They will assist us if we need them. So we do try to help each other out. We have a Muscatine County Mutual Aid Association, and we meet quarterly, and it's about sharing resources, and it's training, but it's all about helping each other out.
sure. Well, I can't tell you and your team, thank you enough for all that you do, not just throughout the pandemic, having our backs and going out to situations where they're putting their own lives in danger just to help someone else, without even thinking twice. Where most of us we're huddled at home in isolation, protecting ourselves. You guys were running right in to help others. And even when we're not in the middle of a pandemic, you guys are just there at the ready, looking out for us 24/7, and it's amazing for all of the citizens of Muscatine to be able to go to bed at night and know that you're minutes away from help. Literally minutes, less than 5 minutes, you will be there to help us, and that's an amazing feeling for all of Muscatine, and we appreciate it.
Well, one of the other things I wanted to mention is that we are accepting applications right now.
There you go.
If whoever's listening, or if you want to spread the word, we are accepting applications until September 23rd. You just need to be an EMT in order to apply, because we will eventually send you to paramedic school. We'll send you to college for a year to get your paramedic. But what we've really been focusing the last couple of years on is trying to hire local talent. And so we've been utilizing our Explorer program. We've been reaching out to the school system with the school counselors, making sure that they understand when they're talking with the kids in high school, that they know that this is a profession that they can enter, and tells them what they need to do or how they do it. So we would really love to hire some local folks into the fire department. So again, spread the word. And if they need to know anything about how to get hired or how it works or how do I get my EMT, just give me a call or stop down to the fire station. Any of us would be more than happy to talk to you. I see the video is playing on the screen right there. Kind of talks about, it's kind of the recruitment video that we have. All that's on the website. Otherwise, stop down to the fire station. We're more than happy to talk to you in person, but we would love to hire local talent.
Sounds great. Hey, before we sign off, because I know you've got a really busy day ahead, you got a couple things coming up in September, even before the open house, don't you?
Yes, we have September 11th is the 20-year anniversary, and excuse me, thought I had it turned off. So September 11th every year at the fire station, at the corner of 5th and Cedar, we have the memorial there, and we always do a moment of silence. And so again, there will be a pamphlet and a flyer and an announcement on that. We do that every year. We will continue to do that. Last year was the first year that we did the stair climb in remembrance of that. And I know you were present for that, along with some other city staff. Our new city administrator was there also, along with the news media. We are going to do that again. So more information to follow on that for September 11th. But then what really hits us personally here at home is just a couple days after that, on September 14th, is the anniversary of our line of duty death of Mike Cruz. And so this will be 19 years. It seems like it was yesterday, but we will do the same thing that we've done the last many years, is that we will do the laying of the wreath at the memorial, and lowering of the flag, and the moment of silence in honor of our brother firefighter Mike Cruz, who died in the line of duty at a structure fire just a couple blocks away from here. And I know you knew Mike also, and I worked with Mike for many years. So again, it's our way of honoring him and not forgetting about him for his ultimate sacrifice to the community. So that will be September 14th, and we usually do that right at 7 a.m. So we hit it right at shift change, so we can have at least 2/3 of the department present when we do that. And again, more information will come out from our communications manager on that event. But those are kind of the two events that we have coming up, September 11th and September 14th. So
both very moving events, and open to the public. Anybody's
yes.
welcome to come.
Yep.
And it doesn't take a lot of time out of your day, but stop in. I think anybody who ever has attended is glad that they did. Yep. Thank you for doing those. Anything that we forgot to talk about? Anything you wanted to highlight?
I guess the only thing that we didn't mention is that we are going to have 2 retirements coming up in the near future, and so that's why we were busy yesterday. We were doing promotional interviews for fire captain position, and today we're doing all day, except for the time frame that I broke away to log in here. But we're doing interviews for fire lieutenant position also. So we have September 19th, we have Captain Junann Gata, who is retiring. And so we're going to have to fill her position when she retires. And then on October 1st, we have Joe Vogel, our ambulance billing manager, is retiring. And so we're in the middle of doing promotional. Again, they got to do a fire scenario and interview session, and pretty rigorous to make sure that we promote the most qualified and most talented and most deserving person into that position. So again, I wish we had more open positions to promote people into, and it's a very competitive process, but I'm confident that we're going to do a good job, and we'll get those positions filled. So that's what we're doing right now, just getting everything ready to backfill those positions when they retire.
Well, big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you so much, not just for joining us today, but for everything that you and your entire team do every day on our behalf.
Well, I love this. I mean, it's an honor to lead this department. I guess when I started years ago, I would have no idea that I'd be where I am today. But again, I love it. I think it's fun. I love the community. So I'm having a good time. And the staff that we have makes it so easy because they're awesome. You know, they make me look good. So
talented heroes. That's right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, thanks to all of you for joining us today. Please know that next week our guest is Michelle Burns with Muscatine County Conservation. We're going to be talking about the upcoming community block party on September 10th. A reminder that it's a little bit unusual. It's only 1 month out of the year, but we are not having a Muscatine City Council meeting tonight. It would typically be our in-depth session, but we do forego that in August each year. That's kind of a time when people go to the fair or on vacation, and so that is the 1 month we don't have an in-depth council meeting, so there will be none tonight. Big thanks to our guest, Chief Ewers. We appreciate him and his entire team and all that he does. Stay tuned, stay safe, and we look forward to seeing you here next week on Our City.